What's going on, everyone? This is your man, OverGrownSoles, and right now you are tuned into the very first episode of my brand new series, What Did I Wear This Week? Now, judging by the title, you can tell that we are putting a spin on the classic What Did You Wear Today and spanning it over the course of a week. So, with that being said, let's get into the first pair of kicks from the previous week that I started recording this series for you guys. Here we have a pair of black infrared Jordan 6 Retros from Black Friday 2014. They're comfortable, they're stylish, and it is a pair that I've had once before in the black Varsity Red edition from 2010, but I sold those. I'm glad to have this pair of sneakers back in my collection once again, but this time with the infrared instead of the Varsity Red, because that infrared just pops and it stands out much, much more. Now that's it for Sunday. Let's take a look at what I wore on Monday. Now here's a pair of kicks that retroed in 2009, paying homage to Penny Hardaway's career with the Miami Heat. This is the Penny 2 in the Miami Heat colorway. By far, this is one of my favorite colorways of the Penny 2. My favorite colorway of all time, of course, is the Orlando Magic version with the classic black upper, the white midsole, and the royal blue outsole. However, I've been waiting on this particular pair since 2009, back when they first released. I was unable to get my hands on them, but when I found out they were retroing in 2016, I had to grab them, and I'm so glad I did. Now let's take a look at what I wore on Tuesday. I was fortunate enough to be able to grab this full pack that this shoe came in for less than retail back in 2010 because they sat on shelves. You guys may call them the Raptors, but of course this is the Jordan DMP 7 in the black charcoal varsity red colorway. I will never ever call these Raptor 7s. I just despise the name for that shoe. But hey, to each his own, different strokes for different folks. Let's keep it moving. I love this pair of 7s. This is my favorite pair of 7s ever. And that's because this was the very first pair of Air Jordans that I ever owned as a child. Before I moved to Georgia from New York, I remember seeing a pair of these that my mom found from when I was a kid back in 1992. And me not knowing much about sneakers, I threw them away before I moved. I know, it was a terrible mistake on my behalf, and I regret it every time I see this pair of kicks. But no matter what, I still love them. Now let's move on to what I wore on Wednesday. This by far is one of my favorite pair of Jordan 12s, next to the Playoff 12s, which is my all-time favorite pair of Jordan 12s, and I still do not own that pair in my collection. Yes, I'm salty, but guess what? These Obsidians will have to do. This is a pair of kicks that I've wanted since the OGs back in the late 90s, but I was never able to get my hands on them because I was too young to buy Jordans, and my mom wouldn't buy them for me at the time. Because, I just didn't have it like that back then. Not saying that I have it like that today, but of course, because I buy my own kicks, I'm able to get whatever pair I want pretty much. Back to the 12 though. Anybody who owns a pair of Jordan 12s or has ever owned a pair of Jordan 12s know that this model is built like a tank. I still see people rocking pairs from 1997 because they have been built so well and they last just about forever. We know that they are going to fall apart eventually, but for now, I'm going to keep rocking my tanks and enjoying them. Let's move on to Thursday. Now here we have a spin on a classic Jordan 1 colorway. It is the Jordan 1 Chicago Lows. Now, the original Jordan 1 Lows did not have the Chicago colorway, but Jordan Brand decided to release this in its OG form with the Nike Air in the version of a low. Some of you guys may know from watching a previous video of mine that I really wanted the high tops, but I wasn't planning on spending $400+ for a pair of the high tops in the OG form with the nylon tongue and the Nike Air instead of the traditional Jumpman. However, a lot of people slept on this low top version that is just as comfortable as the highs and just about aesthetically pleasing as the highs with the traditional Chicago 1 colorway, the red, the white, the black swoosh with the black laces. This pair of kicks has its ups and its downs, its pros, and its cons. But I was able to cop it for under retail, so I have no complaints over here, except how the swoosh looks on the medial side of the shoe. As you can see by looking at it right now, it's looking kind of crazy because I have worn it a few times and it's creased. However, I do like the shoe still. It's very comfortable and it's very stylish, and I can rock it with just about anything. They look good with the pair of joggers that I have on right now, and they look even better to me with jeans. But that's a story for a different day. Let me know how you guys like this shoe. Did you cop? Did you sleep on it? Did you pass with ease? If you slept on it, they're still available in stores on shelves. I'm pretty sure a lot of stores still have a full-size run. But if you passed, then continue to pass. A lot of people who did want this shoe are going to be able to get it for less than retail, and that's the best part about it. With that being said, let's move on to what I wore on Friday. Hands down, this by far is the most comfortable pair of kicks in my entire collection. Now, for those of you who have seen a bunch of the sneakers that I own on my Instagram page, whenever I post my What Did You Wear Todays, you guys will know that I have said that just about any time I've posted this shoe on Instagram. It is the Reebok Kamikaze 1 Mid, and the day that I came across this shoe, it was in a Ross, and I think I copped for like about $40. Of course, it didn't have the original box, but I didn't care. As soon as I tried these on in Ross, I was like, yo, I have to get them. I've had this pair of kicks for well over a year now, and I do not regret ever picking them up. So if you guys have never owned a pair of Reebok Kamikaze 1s before, I suggest you go to your local Ross, maybe check on eBay if you can't find them in stores anymore at all. Pick these up. Even if you're not a fan of Reeboks, pick these up. Now let's move on to the final day of the week, Saturday, where I rocked the very classic Jordan 10 in the white, red, and steel gray colorway from 2005. This was the very first pair of Jordan 10s that I ever owned in my collection, and I bought them when I was 16 years old with one of my very first paychecks. I remember my mom taking me to the mall to get these, and man, I fell in love with them. And honestly, over the last 10 years, they have become an instant classic. Every once in a while, like I'll see somebody rock these on Instagram, and I think, man, this is such an amazing pair of kicks that practically do not age, man. The 10s are one of my favorite pairs of Jordans next to the 12s and the 13s. Just pretty much the mid to late 90s Jordan models are the best. But I'm so glad to own this pair, and I'm just, thankful that they still look as good as they did when I originally bought them 11 years ago. And that concludes the video, guys. I appreciate every single one of you for watching. Please make sure to like it, share it, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Stay up, stay blessed. Peace.